Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after a 3-2 L. The hands of the Yankees. Rangers still win the series, but unfortunately cannot get the sweep in a game they probably should have won. I just had to rewatch the condensed game work today, only got little bits and pieces. Forced myself to watch the condensed game that MLB puts out. It was not enjoyable. Let me just say that. Not enjoyable. But look, wide lens, we talked about it yesterday on the show. The Rangers get the series win. Yes, of course, it's disappointing to lose games like this that really do feel like you could have won. And the Rangers had multiple opportunities to win this ball game. We're going to talk about some of the ins and outs of the game itself. We're going to get into all your guys' comments and questions along the way. But first, here right on Rangers, we cover everything Texas sports, but we put a big emphasis on the Rangers during the MLB season. And we thank you for choosing Right on Rangers for all of your Texas Rangers content. Again, drop a comment, drop a question. Should be able to get to as many things of substance as I can. Thank you so much for all the ways that you contribute to the show. Your comments are one of them. Give the show a like if you're hanging out. If you haven't followed yet, give the show a follow. We do this pretty much after every Texas Rangers game as much as we possibly can. Day off tomorrow, little off day coming up, and then the Phillies come into town. Rangers playing some teams on the East Coast. I like it, but it's a challenge. And I think you pass the first test. The New York Yankees are definitely a competitive, quality team. As much as they had been struggling of late, I think they were on, a 4 or 5 game losing streak going into today. You had 2 out of 3 wins. I think you can't complain too much. The game today, not ideal. Would have loved to have gotten the sweep. But you win 2 out of 3 and you keep winning 2 out of 3. That's going to be a recipe for success. It just is. I mean, if you were 4 or 5 games out, I would say, yeah, you got to start sweeping some games. You got to start sweeping some series, excuse me. Rangers are very, very close, right within reach of the playoffs. I think you can afford to win 2 out of 3 in this instance. It's disappointing, but look, mission accomplished for the series. You take the off day tomorrow. You go into the Philadelphia series, refreshed, re-energized, getting guys some days off, and hopefully you come out and you do the same thing. 2 out of 3 in that series with Merrill Kelly pitching for the first time at home in front of the fans. Gotta love that. Y'all ought to go out and support Merrill. First home start as a Texas Ranger. It's always special, right? I mean, you might think back to the Cliff Lee year in 2010 when Cliff made his first start in Arlington. Think about the Hamels trade when Cole Hamels made his first start in Arlington. And there's a number of other guys as well that you could throw in the mix. It's always exciting when you've got a pitcher making his debut, a big acquisition at the deadline. Hopefully, the Ranger faithful will be out in full support to give Merrill Kelly a hand as he takes the mound for the very first time in Arlington as a Texas Ranger. Now, let's get into the game. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. We definitely are going to start with Adolis. I see some people on TikTok. I see some people on YouTube as well. Natalie, what's good? Talking about Adolis. Look, Adolis had multiple chances today to make a huge impact on the game. Multiple chances. I think bottom of the ninth is probably the most painful one. You got runners on first and second. If we're being honest, it probably never should have happened in the bottom of the ninth. Corey Seager was very fortunate to walk. There were 2 outs. Tellez and Haggerty had each struck out swinging. Corey Seager came up, and look, it was a 3-2 count and was taking, and is very fortunate he did not get called out on strikes. The Adolis Garcia first and second 2-out situation in the ninth probably never should have happened if that ball gets called accurately. But look, neither here nor there. It did happen. It did get called the ball. And Adolis in that AB, you go pitch by pitch, called strike on a very hittable fastball right over the heart of the plate. You look at the rest of the ABs, ball 2. You look at ball 3 coming, and that should have been called a strike as well. So Adolis really, this at-bat should have gone a lot further south than it did. Adolis did well to hang on with some pitches that were thrown on the paint, and then had a foul ball and a curveball that was down and away, and then swing and strike on a splitter, bottom of the zone. But what I look at are pitch 1 and 5 in this AB from Dolly. I won't bore you with every single pitch, but pitch number 1, we're talking bottom of the 9th inning. Adolis Garcia up to bat right now. Of course, Dolly struck out to end the game, but pitch number 1, fastball over the heart of the plate. Pitch number 5, fastball over the heart of the plate. You guys have heard me rail on this team quite frequently for not being able to hit the fastball over the heart of the plate, to not hit the mistake pitches, the hanging pitches that are right over the heart of the plate. You see a lot of foul balls from this team when they get pitches right down the middle, or you see them taking it. That's one thing that's been so frustrating with this offense at times, is you get these pitches right over the heart of the plate and they're not able to do anything with it. In Adolis today, you get 2 pitches, center cut, pitch number 1, slightly elevated, and then pitch number 5, no excuse for pitch number 5. It's a fastball right down the middle, dude. So, and then after that, it just gets more complicated. Bednar throws Dolly a curveball, then he goes off speed with the splitter. It looks like a fastball right down the middle, and then the bottom falls out of it, and that's all she wrote. Adolis was just not good today, and this is what you get with Adolis. He looks like the best player on the team at times, and then you just couldn't be more frustrated with him. This is what you always have really gotten with Adolis Garcia. I mean, even in 2023, he had his moments where he did not look good at all. And I think we forget about that because of the 2023 playoffs and the epic run that Adolis Garcia went on. But let's be honest, Adolis Garcia, even in 23, had his streaky moments where he did not look good at all. And this has always been what we've gotten from Adolis. And it's a big reason why I say it's okay to move on from Adolis in the offseason. Maybe this is prisoner of the moment take, but I think you guys can vouch for me. I've been pretty consistent saying you got to trade Adolis in the offseason. You didn't trade him at the deadline. Fair. Totally get it. Trade Adolis in the offseason. I would really love to see the Rangers reset with a player that is a little bit of the antithesis of Adolis Garcia. I mean, look, I love the glove. I love the defense. Don't get me wrong. The defense, by the way, and I'll never take this philosophy because even in Adolis' worst moments this year, there were some people saying, you got to keep playing him because of the defense. I've just never had that mentality. If a guy is a black hole in your lineup, it really doesn't matter if they're playing elite defense to me, because they're missing out on run scoring opportunities on the offensive side. You're almost losing runs. But yeah, you're saving a couple out in the field. I've never really been of that mindset. Adolis Garcia, though, from the offensive perspective side, I'd love to see the Rangers go get the antithesis of what Dolly is. I'd love to see the Rangers get, or Osuna, a type like that, comes up, takes it to the next level, and just becomes a solid presence at the plate, good plate discipline, good vision, puts the ball in play more often than not. That's the kind of player I'd like to see enter the chat in terms of the right field spot for next year. I think Osuna profiles well there, but I don't know if he's ready right now. I think another season would do him good. Clearly, the guy can play. Having a little bit of a rough go of the average and all the numbers, I know they're not perfect, but I would love to see that type of hitter. I would love to see a guy that consistently puts the ball in play, isn't striking out in as many big moments. If you're going to go down, at least go down putting the ball in play. I know I've said that a few times, but shoot, why not say it again? The Rangers need to do more of it. When you put the ball in play, beautiful things can happen. When you don't, you get what we got at the end of the game today. And look, Randy, I'm with you. There's definitely going to be a bit of a void when Adolis leaves in terms of right field, in terms of his defense that he provides. That being said, let's just, for the sake of having an example of a starting point, let's just stick with Osuna for a minute. Osuna's a great defender. There are a lot of good defenders that the Rangers have in the outfield. Evan Carter, Wyatt Langford. I don't think you're necessarily going to get on Dolly's level with the replacement, but I do think if you can get a guy that's more consistent with the bat at the plate, and a little bit lesser defense, I think you'll take that. Clearly, Adolis has helped save some runs. He's thrown out some players at the plate. He's made some nice plays out in right field. We've also seen Adolis make some boneheaded plays out in right field, too. It happens. I'm okay with losing elite gold glove right field to get a better bat. I can get above average defense with a better bat than Adolis Garcia. You're probably not going to totally replicate and replace what he brings out in right field, but you're going to be able to replace the bat, and you're going to be able to get an outfielder that is at least a tier below where Adolis is at. So, Randy, I'm not too worried about replacing him out in right field. I think you can do that. Can you do it completely? No, but I think you can probably do it at least at 85 to 90%. I think Osuna, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this about Alejandro, but I mean, he was Defensive Player of the Year multiple times down in the minor leagues. I get it. It's minor leagues, but the point remains. The guy can play. He's a great fielder. And you've got some promise, I think, with him. He's kind of getting his sea legs, so to speak, in the major leagues. I think that another year could be huge for him. I'd feel pretty comfortable going into camp next year with Alejandro in the mix with Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter. And maybe you go add another bat. Maybe you go add somebody in free agency. We know that there's a number of different guys that are available. But I think that the Rangers have some options. Clearly, Kyle Tucker's on the market. I don't think we're going to get Kyle Tucker. I'd love to see it happen. That would be huge, but I don't think it's going to happen. Kyle Schwarber is available, more of a DH, though. I think he played a little outfield, but I don't think you want Schwarbs roaming around out there. I don't know if you've seen Kyle Schwarber play outfield. It's definitely not the prettiest of sights, but man, that man can swing the bat. I think the Rangers might explore a little bit in free agency, but I kind of think that they will try and upgrade other spots with the outfielders that they have in the system right now. I think the plan is probably going to be to roll with the young guys. That's my thought. Adolis Garcia is what we're talking about. Just wasn't great today. You don't want to overreact, but again, I don't think any of us should be surprised. This is what you get from Adolis sometimes. You just get super disappointing, cold, not clutch. I know that a lot of people have said Adolis is the most clutch player on the team, and I don't know if I disagree, but it's streaky. It's too streaky. I'd love to see a player that's a little bit more consistent at the plate. The big moments are awesome. The big moments are phenomenal. We all love them. We love the highlight reel, but I would much rather prefer a more consistent player. And that's why I'm okay Rangers moving on from him next year, and I think they should. I don't think it's anything personal. I know some people don't want to hear this. They love Adolis and never want to see this happen, want to see him extended. Rangers are not going to be extending a guy that is on the final year of his contract and is going to turn 34 years of age at the end of next year. Also, it's a potential strike year in 2027. So do you really think the Rangers are going to give Adolis any kind of extension? I really don't think that's in the cards. If you're not going to extend Adolis Garcia, you've got to trade him. There's no reason to let him play out that year. I think that Adolis is a great player. I don't think that he's terrible. I think he is a solid, very solid player. But I just think that the Rangers, considering everything about him, his contract, his age, and what you've got coming up in the minor leagues as well, I think it would be okay to move on from him. You're going to pay, I think, Adolis around $10 million next year. I don't know. Maybe it's like $7 million, something like that. It's not crazy. It's not crazy at all. But I still say, get some value for him while you can. Turn it over to somebody else. I mean, you look at Adolis' numbers right now. We always like to inject the truth serum as much as possible with the stats. Adolis is hitting .225 with a .661 OPS. You can replace that. You can replace those numbers. I mean, look, you definitely would probably see a little bit, I think, of a downtick in the defensive side of things. Again, my philosophy has never been defense first. You got to have a guy that can swing the bat and hit consistently. I think you can replace a .661 OPS. 16 bombs, 63 RBI. And this is a guy that's been hitting in the cleanup spot I thought Dolly would really turn it on, get to 100 RBI. It just hasn't happened. Dolis is hitting 197 over his last 15 games. The OPS, by the way, slightly over 600. This is just not what you want from a cleanup hitter. It's not. Now, let's talk about the other Garcia. I don't know what their plan is with Robert Garcia at this point. I really don't. I thought that the 7th inning, the 8th inning would be the spot for him. But tonight, and look, I went back and watched the at-bat with Goldschmidt. It's an 0-2 count, first of all. They got Goldschmidt into an 0-2 count. Robert Garcia got the first out, had Goldie down 0-2. Goldschmidt was pinch hitting, mind you. And Higgy, actually, Garcia, I don't think completely hit his spot, but Higgy was trying to go up and in on Goldie. You could see Higgy raise the glove up. I think that Garcia left it down a little too low. I think on an 0-2 pitch, you want to get much higher. You want to be slightly above the strike zone, and Garcia left it down. So I don't think he hit his spot. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't like Higgy was setting up, low and away, and Garcia put one right down the pipe. But it was definitely a miss of the spot. I can't imagine you're trying to throw it that low on an 0-2 pitch. You're trying to put it up high. You're trying to give the high cheddar inside to Goldschmidt there, 0-2. And instead, you went maybe slightly above middle of the zone, and he punished it. Robert Garcia does have 3 options left. The problem is I don't know who you necessarily replace him with. Maybe anybody at this point down there at AAA. Appreciate the gift, by the way, Ornelis, man. Thank you so much. I don't know who exactly you replace him with down at AAA. There's a couple of different options for sure, but he has 3 options, does Robert Garcia. I think it might be time for a demotion. And maybe that's overreacting, but it's 3 games in a row with the home run. This guy isn't, 30 years old. He's still young. Give him an opportunity down in AAA to get right. Doesn't have to be forever. Doesn't have to be forever at all. But I would love to see the Rangers give him a little bit of a reset. I think right now 3 games in a row with the home run allowed. And this is a guy that definitely has shown that he is capable of holding games, of saving games. But at this point, I don't think that a move down to AAA would be the worst thing in the world for him. At all. At all. Let's keep going with the comments. I will continue on. Disappointing. I know that a lot of y'all maybe didn't get a chance to watch the game. I didn't either. I watched some parts that I could, big moments, like I watched the Simeon sack fly, and I tuned in a little bit at the end of the game when it got interesting, but I had to go back, watch the condensed game, do what I could to get caught up on everything in between. Rangers lose a tough one here. And again, going back to Robert Garcia, that was in the 7th inning, so the Rangers are trying him in a different spot. Not the 9th inning. I like the move. I'm like, this does seem like an okay spot to try and get his confidence back. And eventually, you're going to want Robert Garcia pitching in a close game. It's just really unfortunate, and it's an 0-2 pitch as well. That, I think, is what gets me even more. 0-2 pitch there. One last thing before I strictly get to comments. Kyle Higashioka. I think that what we saw today really affirms what I've been saying this whole time. Rangers need a hard reset at the catcher position. Kyle Higashioka, terrible throw down to third base. And I've been telling you guys, Higgy is a great framer, and he had a couple of great frames in this game. But beyond that, he ranks in pretty much the lowest percentiles in throwing out runners and in blocking pitches. The one thing that he does bring behind the plate is framing. Today, though, costly throwing error by Kyle Higashioka led to a run being scored by the Yankees. I don't think Heim is the answer either, Johnny. I'm not like a Heim apologist or a Heim truther. I think the Rangers need a hard reset at the catcher position. I think Higgy can stay. The contract probably prohibits him from really going anywhere else. I really don't think there'd be a team that would be super interested in him if the Rangers put him on the market. Maybe. I mean, it depends on what you're giving back in return. But I just think the Rangers need to go out and get a primary catcher. Kyle Higashioka is a nice piece. He's been swinging a good bat since July. That being said, I would really like to see go get that primary catcher, a guy that can put the ball in play, a guy that has a bat, and also a guy that plays solid defense. That's something we've been lacking. I mean, Jonah Heim, back-to-back years, Kyle Higashioka now this year, we don't really have a guy that can consistently control the running game. Pitching is a part of that as well. I would love to see the Rangers go and get JT Realmuto. I've been saying that name for a while now. I'd like for the Rangers to get creative in the trade market if you strike out in free agency. I just think it's time to reset the catcher position. You don't have a guy behind the dish that is playing well enough defensively to justify keeping him around. I know that in the catching market, there are the defensive specialists. Neither one of these guys strikes me as a defensive specialist. I think that there's some good framing going on, but the defense, the run game, stolen bases, it's not great. And Kyle Higashioka, again, has been hitting well, but absolutely cost the team a run today with the terrible throw. I am not a fan of the Rangers catching corps right now. They need to fix it in the offseason. Jonah Heim probably getting a raise just based on arbitration. Do you really want to pay Jonah Heim more money? That's what the Rangers are going to have to do, just so we're all clear on that. You're probably going to have to pay Jonah Heim more money next year, probably in the $6 to $7 million range. Do we really want to give Jonah Heim a raise? I mean, that's the way that you kind of have to frame this business-wise. Nothing personal against Jonah. I like Jonah Heim. I think he's a good guy. But do you really want to give Jonah Heim a raise for what he's done this year in 2025? I would probably say no if I'm Chris Young. I don't want to pay Jonah Heim more money next year based on the last 2 years. Remember, Jonah Heim has a lower on-base percentage than Jock Peterson. And let that blow your mind for a second. I had to double-check this. Jonah Heim has a lower OBP than Jock Peterson. All right. Those were the leads. I know it was long. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Let me get back to you guys into the comments. I'm going to try and go rapid fire here as much as I possibly can. Yes, JT Realmuto is a free agent this winter. Phillies, if they would have faltered, I think you would have seen them dangle him in the trade market. But with the Phillies in the playoff race firmly, they held on to him. But yes, JT is a free agent. Cal Raleigh. Yeah, I don't think the Mariners are going to let me go play for the Rangers. I don't think they're going to let me go play. Marco, I'm with you. Comment was, I think Jonah Heim is cooked. I'm with you. I think that Jonah, you've seen back-to-back years now. This isn't like a bad 2 or 3 months. We've seen a couple bad years now from Jonah. So I'm ready to do a reset. Maybe he turns it on and has like a run to remember over the next 2 months. I wouldn't hold my breath. I wouldn't, but I do think it is time to move on. Both Garcias cost for sure. Both Garcias cost us for sure. No, I don't, Kaysen, I don't think Brett Boone is going to take over as coach. I think it'll probably be Skip Schumacher, who they picked up in the offseason, who is assisting on a lot of things in the front office. Not totally at the focal point. CY, obviously, being the figurehead. But I think it'll be Skip Schumacher before Brett Boone. I mean, look, Booney has been nice to have. I think he's a good energy guy. I don't know how much he's really helped the offense. Offense had a good little spurt there the last 3 or 4 weeks. One of the better offenses in baseball, actually. It's hard to believe. But I would not be giving Brett Boone the head coaching job. I mean, no. I don't know if Bochy's going to be back next year or not. I think a lot of people assume that he's going to retire. He won't be back. But, yeah, I wouldn't be giving him the head coaching job. I think we have to demote Robert Garcia, Alex. I think we send him down to AAA and you bring somebody else up. I'm going to check out the 40-man and just see who would I bring up, if anybody, if you are going to send Robert Garcia down to AAA. We'll see what happens. I'll check comments while the 40 loads. Caden, possibly. I think he'll get an opportunity in the spring again. So there's going to be a number of guys that are going to get opportunities. I mean, Abimelec Ortiz, I don't know if you guys saw, had a couple of bombs in his AAA debut last night, right? I think it was last night. I mean, look, that would be phenomenal if we could really legitimately get a first baseman with power that is able to drive the ball out of the ballpark. Something we've been missing. We thought Jake Berger was going to be the answer there. That would be nice. I would probably say pump the brakes a little bit. I don't know if Abimelec Ortiz is going to be the guy coming out of camp, but I think he'll get a shot in spring training. We'll see how he does, but I'm definitely encouraged by what I am seeing. Keep going. Yeah, Seager was not outstanding in this series by any means. Seager had a rough go for sure. 2 for 3 today, 2 walks. He was on base a lot. Just didn't feel like he was himself. I know he kind of had the bloop hit earlier on in the game, but just doesn't feel like Corey is quite himself. Really going back to the road trip. I mean, he was not lighting the world on fire in Anaheim, a place he normally rakes at. And then Seattle has been a terrible place for Corey. So maybe he's just got to dust off the shelves and the cobwebs from Seattle and just the downward spiral that he has when he goes to that ballpark. But nevertheless, yeah, Corey definitely not clicking on all cylinders, not firing on all cylinders. Keep going. Smith has the highest batting average on the team at 266. Yikes. Caden, he hit another homer today too. That's awesome, man. Yeah, look, good run for him. I would probably bet no, he doesn't start as our first baseman next year, but I think he'll be in spring training. And you know what? You never know. You light it on fire in spring training, you make it really hard for a team to say no. Now, in the minor leagues, here's who's on the 40 in the minors. You got Bosley, Church, Corniel. You've got Latz in the minors right now. And I believe Teodo as well, right? Yeah, Teodo's on the 40. He's in the minors. So you've got some options here, but nothing that pops out and really feels awesome. I mean, look, for some of y'all, I'm sure just Robert Garcia going down is probably going to feel good, but I don't know. There's not a lot of great options if you do send him down. Maybe Corniel. I got to look at some of these guys' stats. I don't have all these guys' numbers off the top of my head. It's hard enough keeping up with all of the Rangers guys. But let's see. Corniel this year, 13 innings, 2 earned runs. I mean, not bad. Not bad. Let's look at the game log. Nothing. Oh, he's hurt this year, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, look, there's not a lot of options. There's not a lot of options right now. Adolis hasn't had a hit with runner in scoring position since July 12th. Is that true? Jeez, Caden, I gotta look this up. I'm gonna go to his game log really quick. I'm not saying I don't believe you, bro. I just can't believe the stat. So you go to July 12th, and he had a home run. He had a 3-run. I think he had a 3-run homer in that game. He had some other RBIs mixed in. Oh, that was June 12th. July 12th, he had an RBI. He had an RBI at Houston. So it's the Houston series? Really? You got to go back to the Houston series for the last time he had an RBI with runners in scoring position? Whew. Yikes. He did hit a home run, but I don't know if there were runners in scoring position, Marco. I think that's what we're saying. With runners on? Okay. So, look, nevertheless, I think we can all agree you got to be getting a little bit more from Adolis from the cleanup spot. He's hitting 197 over his last 15 games. 197, guys. That's not ideal for your cleanup hitter. But, Marco, good catch. Good catch. All right, let's keep rolling. Teodo, I don't think Teodo is – he was another guy that was hurt, though, wasn't he? Let me see. A lot of these guys have been hurt in the minor leagues that are on the 40-man right now. Teodo, game log. Let's see where he's at. He has pitched a little bit this year, but yeah, he's not looking great. I mean, look, the ERA in Round Rock this year for Teodo is 10.13. Evan Carter's same back injury is absolutely concerning. Absolutely. We said that the back injuries when you're that young, bro was like 23 years old, already dealing with back issues. Like, look, I get it if you're upper 30s. I get it. Like, shoot, that's where I'm headed, man. The aches and pains, you start feeling them a lot more. You get it. You get into your mid to late 30s. But bro is 23. Bro's 23 years old. Like, if you're already dealing with back issues at 23, it's just not good. I'm not saying that it's going to be a problem for him forever. Modern medicine, it's always getting better. Maybe something wild comes along and he can really be cured of this ailment. But the fact that it keeps coming back, and dude, you're in like the prime of your life in terms of body health, and you're already having back issues. I'm not getting on him. It might be something that he can't control, but it's not encouraging. I will say that. It's not encouraging. Hey, Jamie, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging out. Look, it stinks doing lives after we had the epic one with the Jock Peterson home run and the Josh Young walk-off. We definitely have now gotten to this loss right here. It's not easy, but we're here. We're talking it out. We're going to get through it, flush it, be back on Friday, but it ain't easy getting on talking about L's. I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's a little group therapy for us today. Yeah, Marco, look, it's different for everybody, right? But again, you're 20, what? He was 21. Evan Carter was like 2021 dealing with back issues. It's just, again, if you have this much problems with your back this early in life, what is Evan Carter going to be feeling when he is 40? Where's his back going to be at age 40 if it's already doing this at age 23, man? Whew. Okay. We keep going. I don't know about Church, Natalie. Again, I'm trying to look, guys, at all of the game logs as much as I can. I know Mark Church was hurt a little bit, but let's see. Church, game log. Let's see what we got. The problem with a lot of these guys, at least what I'm looking up on MLB.com, a lot of these guys, they have major league stats, and it just makes it kind of hard to go through. I don't think Church is pitching yet this year. I don't think he is at all. We keep going. Appreciate all the comments, y'all. We're just going rapid fire. Go Yankees. Hey, I'm glad y'all got a win. That was about to be an embarrassing loss and losing streak, right? Would that have been 6 or 7 in a row if the Yankees wouldn't have won today? Berger did hit a double today. Hard Chuck, I ain't holding my breath on Jake Berger either. Are you? Is anybody thinking Jake Berger is going to come out and mash at the major league level? Hard Chuck, I'm not saying you were insinuating that. You're just reporting the news, buddy, which I appreciate. But I'm not pumped about Jake Berger coming back. I mean, look, if he comes back and kills it, I'll be happy. But if I'm just being real, I do not think he's going to come back and do a whole lot. He just hits lefties better. Yeah, he does. Jake Berger, I mean, you're going to have at least a right-handed bat that you can throw in the mix. But yeah, I'm just not counting on Jake Berger to come back and save the offense or really make any kind of significant impact. I think right now the focus is Jock Peterson, right? If he can continue to do what he's doing, that's going to go a long way. I don't know. I don't feel super great about Jake Berger coming back, lighting the world on fire. Yeah, Rowdy, I'm there on Rowdy. I know he struck out at the end of the game today. Look, he's been one of the better hitters for Texas over the last couple of weeks. I can't imagine, and look, I said it in the Discord, I think it was yesterday. I have a hard time believing that they're just going to bench Rowdy Tellez in favor of Jake Berger. Maybe that's really the route that they're going to go ultimately, but I just can't see it. I think Rowdy's been too good. I think you could platoon Berger and Rowdy, the righty-lefty starter thing. But honestly, I don't see any path to just bench Rowdy for Jake Berger. Jake Berger has done a couple of things this year. Not a whole lot, though. Not a whole lot. Hard Chuck, I'm kind of with you. I think it'll probably be a situation where, if he has a week of cold, maybe they end up giving him the hook at that point. But I think that they are going to ride Rowdy Tellez in the hot streak until it totally goes cold. We keep going. Rangers have not scored in the first inning in 10 straight games. Yikes. Yikes. Woo. Yeah, look, I know Rowdy Tellez, obviously, a lot of people. I talk with quite a few Mariners fans. I know a lot of people liked Rowdy. But yeah, Josh Naylor, I think you're going to take that every day. We'll see how long he lasts, man. We'll see how long he lasts. I would hope that they'll continue to hold on to him as long as he's hitting like this and let him continue to hit against righties. I think it makes a lot of sense right now. If Berger comes back, you let him a hit against lefties. Let Rowdy Tellez hit against righties. Very ideal. Brian, I'm with you. It was a very winnable game today. I think that's what makes these games hard. If you would have gotten blown out or even lost like 5-2, 6-2, you're probably not feeling as bad. It's just the fact that they're so close, man. You're in a 3-2 ball game. You just need a big hit. Adolis Garcia had multiple opportunities to get that big hit, couldn't come through. It does hurt and sting a little more when you know you were that close. And the Rangers easily could have walked away from this series with a sweep. 100%. Zach, I would have loved to have seen that at the deadline. The comment was need to get more right-handed heavy with the bats in the offseason. I would have loved to have seen that at the deadline. I think that they're going to do that a little bit, but you're going to see a little bit of a reset, I think, at multiple different spots. I don't see the Rangers sticking with some of the same guys. I think they are going to get a little bit radical. They're still in win now mode. You got DeGrom, you got Evo. You're trying to maximize the window. I don't think that they're going to continue to wait around for some of these guys. I honestly wonder, I don't think they're going to give up on Evan Carter. I wonder how long the leash is going to be for Evan Carter next year. Look, 23, he made his debut. 24, you had some injuries and whatnot. 25, you've seen some flashes of Evan Carter looking good, but then he's been hurt again. I might have to eat some crow. I really thought that this was going to be the year for Evan Carter. I think I've said that multiple times. I put out a video on it when he was on a really, really good run of games. And he might just not work out. I don't know. If the back injuries continue to plague him, we'll see. I just can't see the Rangers being good or being okay with allowing what's happened the past 2 years to happen a third time in 2026. I really feel like the Rangers are going to do a very, very hard inward look at what they have right now in the organization and really make a decision. Is this guy going to work out in 26? Not eventually, not in 27, not in 28. I really think in the offseason, CY, Figueroa, Fenstermaker, all those guys, I really think they look at every position and they really ask themselves, is this guy going to have a good year in 26? Not, is this guy going to develop in 3 years to be a star? I think they're really going to look at whether or not the players that they currently have are actually going to play well in 2026. And I think they'll make decisions accordingly from there. I don't think Evan Carter, with the injuries and with the performance, I don't know if he's an automatic pencil in for 26 or not. I think they'll probably try it, but honestly, it wouldn't shock me if they tried to reinforce some of the outfield positions a little bit. Even Wyatt Langford, I think that they are probably going to have a little bit of a longer runway for him than they do with Evan Carter. But even Wyatt Langford, it's been a little bit of a down year for him. I know that we might want to throw out the excuses. He's still young. It's only been 2 years, yada, yada, yada. The Rangers have counted on him really the last 2 seasons. They have banked on him producing, and it's been lower. I think a fair amount lower than probably what they've expected that it's going to be. You've got to start making tough decisions. How long are you going to ride it out with some of these guys? Or are you going to do a hard reset at certain positions? I think Higgy should be plugged into the cleanup spot. Simeon should go back to being leadoff. We'll see what they decide to do. I personally think they're probably going to leave Higgy right around where he's at or lower in the lineup. I think that Kyle Higashioka has definitely had a really great month of July, and even starting into August, I don't see them plugging him into the cleanup spot. Bradford was thrown at his front door in the offseason. And then there's that. Can we DFA Heim yesterday? I don't think they're going to DFA Heim, but I don't think they're going to renew the contract. I think they're going to either try and find a trade partner or maybe just a non-tender. I don't think they're going to give Heim a raise to come back in 2026. I don't think so. Look, absolutely Wyatt has been hitting better. The number I think that I saw thrown around a little bit was the last time Wyatt Langford hit a home run, which I think it's getting close to a month, isn't it? I'll look at the game log real quick. Somebody sent me something like, bro hasn't hit a home run since like July, and it was like early on in July. So let's see here. He hit a home run on July 11th, and he hasn't hit one since. So Wyatt's going on almost a month without a home run. I think that's the problem, right? You had this guy that you're hitting up at the top of the order, in the heart of your order, a guy that's supposed to bring pop to the lineup, and bro hasn't hit a home run since July 11th, and it's August 6th right now. I think that's the issue there. Thoughts on Robert Garcia? I think that the Rangers should demote him. He's got 3 options. We see what it's done for Josh Young, even for Jake Berger in the short term. I think it kind of wore off eventually, but even that reset for Jake Berger was helpful right when he came back. I really don't think it would be the worst thing in the world. Now, what is going for Robert Garcia is there's not really a great replacement right now down in AAA that they haven't called up already. Curvelo was doing great. They called him up. Cole Winn was pitching well. They called him up. The Rangers, I don't think, have a ton of dudes that are on the 40-man right now. They've actually got a couple of guys that are pitching really well, but they're not on the 40-man. So in terms of guys on the 40-man, there's just not a ton of options. So I almost wonder if by nature of that, Robert Garcia is going to continue to stay on the big league active 26. But I don't think they're going to DFA Garcia. Why would you DFA him? You can demote him. He's got 3 options. He's got promise. I don't think he's a scrub. I think he's going through a rough patch. But I also don't think you can continue to throw him out there in a game that's tied or in a game that you are only losing by 1 or 2 or winning by 1 or 2. I think Robert Garcia needs to potentially spend a little bit of time down in the minor leagues, and I don't think that's the most terrible thing in the world. Should we even expect major roster changes with the coming lockout? Brian, I'm kind of concerned just what are the contracts going to look like next year, and are teams going to be willing to dole out big-time contracts when you've got that lockout coming potentially in 2027? I think it's going to be an interesting free agent market, honestly, in the offseason. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. Josh Young 10-game hitting streak came to an end today. He had been doing really well. Absolutely. What are my thoughts on this next series? What are my thoughts on Haggerty? Rangers bringing up Spores? I think Spores possibly. But look, I said it on the show the other night. The fact that they're transferring him, that they transferred him from Frisco to Round Rock, tells me that it hasn't been going super well. And they've done some pauses on Spores. In fact, I think they did just do a pause on Spores. Can somebody confirm that for me? I thought that I read that they were pausing him. I think the Rangers coined it a deload, whatever that means. But basically what it means is they are not having him throw, and they're kind of shutting it down a little bit. So look, Josh Sborz, I told you guys, the fact that they went out and got Coulomb and Maton tells you a lot. They really did not feel super confident that Josh Sborz was going to come in and just totally kill it and be like this late inning hero. I think they had doubts about Josh Sborz, as do I. And that's why they went out and got Coulomb and Maton. Wasn't like they just went out and got one guy. That's kind of what we all thought, I think. They'll probably go get like a late inning guy, a closer type. The fact that they went and got two relievers, I think tells you a lot about where they're at and their thinking about guys like Josh Sborz. I think they are counting on Josh Sborz to not be a big contributor. And that's why you saw them go get Coulomb and Maton. Now, Haggerty. I like Haggerty quite a bit. He had an opportunity for runs to be scored in one of the ABs that he had early on. He put the ball in play, didn't hit it 100 miles an hour, but he put the ball in play, and that's the name of the game. I'm a Haggerty fan. Now, I don't think that Haggerty is a legitimate 155, 160 game starter. I think he is a platoon player, and that's what he's doing right now. And I think in that role, he's good. So the Rangers might get into a spot, though, where if guys are really struggling down the stretch, Haggerty might see himself playing a little bit more. You got to win games. You got to put your best nine out there. So Haggerty fan for sure. There was another one, wasn't there? What are my thoughts on the next series? So I think that the Rangers have a very, very fortuitous lining up of the pitching matchups. And I don't think all of them have been announced yet. But the fact that you've got Jacob deGrom and Merrill Kelly throwing in this series is huge. And so I feel pretty solid about the Rangers' chances of winning the series. Now, I think Philadelphia is a great team. I have a lot of respect for them, so don't take that the wrong way. But I just think anytime, if you tell me in any series against any team that I get deGrom and Merrill Kelly thrown in the same series, I'm going to feel pretty good about my chances of taking 2 out of 3. We'll see how it goes. But on Friday, let's see if they've announced yet who Friday. Sanchez versus Kelly on Friday. It's a good matchup. Sanchez has been throwing really well. He's a lefty. Merrill Kelly, obviously, throwing well himself. And then after that, Saturday. See if the Rangers have announced yet on Saturday. Saturday's going to be deGrom Day. And then Sunday's probably Corbin? I'm assuming Corbin on Sunday. Yep. So that's what it is. Kelly, deGrom, and Corbin. I think the Rangers have a pretty good shot to win 2 out of 3 games just by nature of who they have pitching. I think that it is a very good possibility that's how it plays out. Would it shock me if the Phillies won a couple of games? No. They're a good team. But I think the Rangers have an opportunity to win that series because of who they have on the mound. How did that work versus the Mariners? I believe they beat both Kelly and deGrom. Okay. So one game determines everything. One series. I mean, I don't know. I guess disagree if you want, but I don't know. I'm not basing my entire opinion off of one series. If you want to, totally up to you. But I'll take deGrom and I'll take Kelly and feel good about my chances of winning with them 2 out of 3 games. And really, they should have won a couple of games in that Seattle series. They didn't play well enough to win. Seattle, they did. So I give Seattle credit, but let's not act like that series was up and down blowouts. Those are a lot of close games. And that's all you can ask for. When you're playing quality competition, it's really all you can ask for. But I'm going to take my chances with deGrom, and I'm going to take my chances with Merrill Kelly in a series and feel pretty good about it. Scott, who cares? We're talking about the Phillies. Thoughts on Maton as closer? I think that they're going to go closer by committee. I don't think that they're going to be talking about one guy as the closer right now. I think they're going to probably mix and match. Like I think you'll probably see Coulomb in some opportunities. I think that Maton is going to get some opportunities. I think they're going to do by committee, if I had to guess. I don't think that they're going to lock down Maton as the closer. which I'm okay with. I think the flexibility is actually kind of nice. You can mix and match a little bit. And I don't know, maybe it makes guys feel a little less pressure too. You put the closer title on somebody and suddenly they're getting in their head a little bit. Not everybody, but I do think the closer by committee thing can work. They'll play the matchups, lefty, righty, career numbers, that kind of thing. I think that is a strong possibility. We do agree that the Astros are the worst, Caden. We absolutely agree there. That is where Mariners fans and Rangers fans can unite. We keep going. Do I think they move on from Semien, or is his contract too hard to let go? Caleb, it's too hard to let go. I think Semien is going to be a Rangers starting second baseman for the next couple of seasons. I think maybe when he gets down to like 2 years left, you could potentially see some movement or thought for something different, but I think he's going to be your starting second baseman in 26 and 27. I think maybe in 28, 29, that's when it could obviously potentially change. Semien, I think, has 4 years left, if I'm not mistaken. So I think down the road, when he's got less than 2 years, 2 years or less than 2 years, you could see something like that. But no, I think the contract's too hard. What do I think about Big Game Nate finally getting his respect? Leo, is he though? And by the way, if y'all haven't watched my Big Game Nate reel that I just put out, short, TikTok, whatever you want to call it, please go watch it. I'd appreciate the support. So look, we just saw a pretty disappointing L. Just go watch some Nate Eovaldi highlights. It made me feel better making that video. Honestly, I made it last night, but with the day game, it was actually a morning game for me. It was just too hard to get all the editing done. Quick turnaround. So I posted it after the game today. Nate Eovaldi, I don't actually think is really getting his respect around the league. I don't know if it's the qualifying innings thing. Nate is 4 innings short of qualifying, technically on stat leaderboards. I can only guess that that's what it is. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Otherwise, I don't understand how a guy it's leading the ERA title by almost a full run. I think he's besting Scooble by 0.8, almost a full run, and really isn't getting talked about a whole lot. I mean, MLB did post about it during the game, so they were vocal about how well he was pitching, but we're talking more like the bigger conversations, the Cy Young conversations. He's really not in a lot of those, and he really hasn't pitched that much fewer innings, like maybe 20, 25. I don't know. To me, that's not a big enough gap where you can disqualify somebody or not include them in the Cy Young discussion. Hey, Leo, appreciate it, man. I'm trying to give him his respect. You guys know one of my predictions in the second half was DeGrom or Evo Cy Young. I would love for Evo to take over. I thought it would be DeGrom, honestly. So I'm wrong on that. I thought DeGrom would continue on the dominance. And, he's got obviously the name value. I thought it would be DeGrom. But I did think Evo had a really good shot if he could continue to pitch like he's been pitching all season long. You just really didn't know because he was a little bit behind in the innings. If Evo gives up 3 or 4 runs in a start, that ERA is going to start ticking up pretty quick. But the more he pads the number with these 7 innings, 0 earned runs type starts, it's going to be hard to deny him. It really is. Cody Bradford is out for the season. Yeah, he ain't coming back until probably middle of the summer. Robert Garcia is a AAA kind of pitcher. Spida, I think they should probably send him to AAA. He's got 3 options. All right, YouTube, what we got? We got anything? What do I think about DeGrom being off the last 5 starts? Zach, is it 5? I know it's been like 3 or 4, it feels like. I didn't think it was 5, bro, but maybe it is. Let me look at it. Let me pull that up. We'll keep going. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Hey, Spider, thanks for the follow, man. Means a lot. What's my opinion on the Mariners? Just kind of how I feel about the Brewers. I think that's actually a pretty good comp. Like, the Brewers are killing it in the regular season. When are you going to do it in the postseason? I think that's how I feel about Seattle. And Seattle is a team that I actually don't mind watching. I think they've got some exciting players. For me, I'm not going to take them seriously until they actually do it. I feel like every year they've got a pretty good team. They've got a team that could make the playoffs, and then they just wet the bed in the postseason. So for me, I'm kind of like a little cautious on teams like that. The Brewers, the Mariners, I do like the lineup. I like a lot of their pitchers. I've said it all year long. I think they're an ace away. I don't think that they have a true ace. Don't come at me with Brian Wu. He hasn't been doing it long enough for me to consider him like a bona fide playoff ace. I don't know. October's different. We've seen some of the greats in the regular season really struggle in October. I'm sorry, I'm not putting Brian Wu at playoff ace. I mean, he's good. He might be good in the playoffs in really big moments. We just don't know. So for me, like the Mariners, think they're a quality team. I need to see them do it in October for me to really take them seriously. And some of the guys that they have on the team have played in October, have played in postseason series, and it hasn't worked out. We keep going. Garcia is anything but clutch on the mound. You can say that again. Absolutely say that again. Kirby, I like George Kirby a lot. I don't think, again, of Kirby as a playoff ace. Again, playoff ace, you're thinking about a guy like Nate Eovaldi, right? Nate has won a couple of championships. He's pitched really, really well in super huge moments and starts. Seattle doesn't have anybody like that. I think they've got some young, promising pitchers that I really enjoy watching pitch. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. They just haven't proved it in the postseason. Maybe this is the year they do it. Maybe not. But until they do, I just can't take them too seriously as a threat. And that's obviously coming from a Rangers fan. So if you want to take it with a grain of salt, call me a homer, go for it. But I feel like a lot of people around the league would probably agree with me. I just think until teams show that they can do it in October, you just don't take them too seriously. El Bombi here next season. I think he'll be gone next year for sure. I don't think that there is any way that he suits up for the Rangers in 26. I think they try and find a trade partner. I don't know how much you're actually going to get for Adolis Garcia. A lot of it probably really depends on how he finishes the rest of the season. So you're definitely cheering for Adolis to finish well. If he finishes on an all-time slump, that trade value, man, just totally plummets. So you want to see Adolis do well to finish the year, but you have got to see the Rangers do the right thing in the postseason. The last thing you want, this is worst case scenario, and I think y'all can agree with me, this is a possibility. If Adolis kills it the rest of the way and the Rangers have a momentary lapse and decide to let it ride with Adolis in 26, if that man tanks and has another one of these years where he starts out hitting 205, 210, and just is not anywhere close to what he was a few seasons ago, you potentially really lost out on an opportunity to improve the farm system and make a really good business decision. I think he's got to be traded in the offseason. Keep going. Yeah, Gilbert, pretty good again. I just don't put Gilbert on playoff ace. I think what I've seen of Gilbert, he's hittable. Like the Rangers had opportunities against Gilbert and couldn't take advantage. They had him on the ropes a couple of different times. When I think of Logan Gilbert, I do think really good pitcher and no shade to him at all. I just don't think, again, playoff ace, game 7, he's going to dominate. Again, we all love our boys, so I get it and I respect it, but I just don't think the Mariners have that playoff ace. I think it's a missing piece for them. Prove me wrong, please. And I hope that they beat like the Astros or something, proving me wrong. That would be cloud 9. Cloud 9. Absolutely. 1 through 6 in Seattle's lineup, 100%. Really, really good. Really, really good. They've got some great bats. You got J-Rod, you got Randy, you got Naylor, you got Gino, you got Cal, and best for last there. You've got a number of really, really good players on the squad. Let's just see them put it all together in the postseason. We keep going. Drew, are you kidding me? Don't even talk about the postseason when you're a game and a half out of it. Go on, dude. Mariners added bats. I wish the Rangers would have. Seriously. We all wanted a right-handed bat. Just never happened. Keep going. I just love that, man. You're a game and a half out, but somebody wants to yap about don't talk about the postseason. Okay. Oh, thanks for the comedic relief, man. Appreciate you. Get into the postseason, dude. Drew, you're not in the postseason. Postseason's not even here yet, bro. Seriously. Like, come at me with a valid point, please. Like, some people are just hot air. Like, you got a valid point, like an actual point. We all can read the standings. We all know that the postseason isn't today. So do you have an actual point, buddy? All right. We keep going. Can you take Mitch Garver back? I think a lot of Rangers actually would like Mitch Garver back. Y'all tell me. I mean, y'all let me know. Do you want Garv back? I love Garv sauce, but personally, I think they made the right decision not re-signing him. I think that would probably have not been a great business move. And honestly, Garv sauce, he's had his moments in Seattle, but I can't say Mitch Garver has killed it since going up to the Emerald City. I think the Rangers probably lucked out on that one. Garver, to me, he had his ups and downs in 23. You remember, he started out 2023 really badly. And remember, there was that big discussion with Garver, like, does he need to catch to hit well? And then he finally figured out, like, how to do the DH thing. And then, obviously, was a great piece for us in October. I just think they need more of a sure shot. I don't see Mitch Garver as a sure shot. I think the Rangers have taken some risks on bats over the past couple of years. I want to see them go out and get guys that are more sure shot. I mean, look, nothing is a sure shot in Major League Baseball. It's an incredibly hard sport to consistently be good at. But I want to see the Rangers try their best. Go get you a sure shot, man. Do not leave it up to streaky acquisitions that you're getting at value price and you're just hoping and praying that you get the good version. I don't want to see that. So Mitch Garver kind of feels like in that category to me. Could Mitch Garver be a really good hitter? And is he a really good hitter at times? Yeah, he can have streaks. But consistently, is he a good hitter at this point in his career? From what I've seen over the past couple of seasons, no. So for me, love Garver. Never going to forget 23. He had some huge hits for us in that season and in that postseason run. But no, don't want Garv sauce back at this point. Keep going. Let's see. What do we got? Sebastian Walcott call-up? Nah. I can't see it. Sebastian Walcott getting called up. Look, first of all, Walcott, I don't think is exactly killing it. The power numbers are there for Sebastian, but I don't think that the numbers justify some jump to the big leagues. You'd have to have, and I want to knock on wood on this, you'd have to have a pretty bad injury to some of the Rangers starting core for Walcott to even be considered for a call-up. I don't even know if Walcott's going to make the roster out of the gate in 2026. I kind of see Walcott at this point as a little bit more of a potential like August ad. We forget that Walcott is as young as he is, man. I think, isn't he 19 or 20? I mean, this guy has time to develop more. I don't think you want to rush it. I think Walcott could potentially be like a rosters expand a year from now. I don't think he's going to open up 2026 unless things get really, really desperate. Stacy, appreciate the follow. Thank you so much. Texas, 1975. I think they are going to do a hard reset at catcher. I really do. We keep rolling. Both Garcias did let us down today. I think that's probably the biggest story of the game. I mean, clearly, you only score a couple of runs. You can't blame just one person, but Dolly did come up multiple times with opportunities to break the game wide open, and it just didn't happen, man. That's what you get with the Adolis. You get these really outstanding series where he feels like the MVP, and then you get these series where when he walks up to the plate, you just immediately feel like it's not going to go well. Immediately. That's kind of how I felt about him for most of this Yankee series. I know he had a couple of base knocks here and there, but just didn't feel great about him coming up like in the 9th inning. Like I was pumped that Simeon and Seager continued it on, but I did not necessarily feel like Dolly was coming through in that moment. I don't know about you guys. Look, Zane, appreciate that. I know a bunch of y'all. Hey, GD3, yeah. Look, the Cal Raleigh comps, keep them coming. Millionaire MVP candidate. I don't mind that comp. Let's keep rolling. Let's go, Phillies. Hey, man, come back and hang out this weekend. We'll be live after every Rangers-Phillies game. Pretty sure. I should be. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I think we will be. After every Phillies game, we'll probably try and even go 8th or 9th inning. So, hey, look, if you got the game on the TV, go ahead. Get right on Rangers on the phone. Let's talk ball while the game finishes out. That'll be great. Absolutely. Stay humble. Go Phils. I don't think anybody's being arrogant. Definitely not after a loss like today. I don't think anybody is being arrogant. At least not that I've seen among Rangers fans. Philly sweep would be nice. You mean a Rangers sweep of the Phillies? That would be nice. We keep going. Let's see. What do we got? YouTube slowing down a little bit. Good. Let's, now that we're a little bit caught up, let's go to the Phillies preview. Let's preview Friday's matchup. We got Merrill Kelly on the bump. And by the way, let's look at what's going on around the league. We have the A's and the Nationals tied. A's really aren't relevant in the playoff race right now. Nevertheless, give you a little AL West roundup. Red Sox are losing. That's a positive. They are playing the Royals, who are not too far behind the Rangers, but Red Sox losing is a positive. After that, Mariners play late night tonight. They play the White Sox, so like not a great opponent for the Rangers to not lose ground in, but I think that we'll keep our eye on that one. That's an 8:40 Texas time start. White Sox visiting Seattle. Kirby on the mound tonight. We'll hope the White Sox can come through, but I ain't holding my breath on that. Twins beat the Tigers again. Jeez. Tigers still are 16 games over 500, but I think the Twins have taken a couple of games from them. The Rays did beat the Angels 5-4. Where's Green Arrow? Where's Green Arrow at? He's our resident Angels fan in the chat. I don't know where he's at today. But he told us that the Angels were going to be relevant in the playoff race. It hadn't quite happened. I think the Angels are going to have a tough time coming back. Angels lose to the Rays. Rays are kind of right where the Royals are at. They're 2 games under 500. Not impossible, not completely out of the playoff race, but still. And then Marlins did beat the Stros. Y'all already told me about that. So if we can get a White Sox win, this loss becomes even less harmful. If the White Sox beat the Mariners tonight, I mean, pretty much every team, obviously, besides the Yankees right ahead of the Rangers. I mean, not a bad day to lose a game. I guess you can look at it the other way. Like, what a day to win a game. This would have been awesome to gain ground on everybody. But I'll tend to take the glass half full mentality, as you guys know. All right. By the way, wrapping up the game from today, I think we already pretty much went over everything worthwhile. Siegs had a couple of hits and a walk on base 4 times. Good for him. Still doesn't feel like he's completely locked in, but look, not a bad day from Corey. Haggerty on base twice. Smith has been okay, but I'd like Haggerty from the leadoff spot. I really do. I know Josh Smith leads the team in batting average, not by much, 266, but I kind of like Swaggerty from the leadoff spot. Josh Smith, to me, has only been okay of late, and I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a change leadoff-wise. We all love Josh Smith. We're not saying he needs to be benched, but I don't know. The dude's hitting 214 over his last 15 games. We're talking about Josh Smith. He's hitting 179 with a 457 OPS over his last 7 games. Like, I would not mind Haggerty potentially becoming the leadoff guy for a temporary amount of time. you move Josh Smith down in the lineup a little bit. You can always move him back, but I like Haggerty. I like the chaos energy that he brings. He's always doing something, just putting the ball in play, causing a little havoc on the base pass as well. I wouldn't mind if they stuck with this. I don't think they will. I think Josh Smith will be back up there the next time a righty's on the mound. But if it was me, I might mix it up a little bit with how Josh Smith has been swinging the bat of lately, which hasn't been awesome. Wyatt Langford 0 for 2, did have 2 walks. So good to see him taking some pitches, not chasing. Jock Peterson, he got on base for the 6th straight time. You really hope Jock is turning a corner. Really hope that's the case for him. He got on base late in this one. Higgy, 1 for 4, had the really bad throwing error, unfortunately, that cost the Rangers a run. Just not a guy that you want to have consistently behind the plate. I'd almost much rather make Higgy a DH when you need a righty DH than anything else. For me, Higgy's great at framing, but the other aspects of catching, not so much. Not really a guy I want catching a ton of ball games for me unless I really need my starter, my primary catcher to get a breather. We talked about Josh Smith. He was 0 for 4 tonight with a strikeout. Duran, 3 for 3 on the day. Great day for Zeke Duran. Look, quietly, bro has been putting together a nice little slash line over his last couple of weeks of play. Zeke Duran, last 15 games, 321 average. Last 7 games, Zeke Duran is hitting, wait for it, 636. Zeke Duran's hitting 636 over his last 7 games. Hey, look, abandoned ship. Great point. Great point. For all of y'all on YouTube that can't see the TikTok comments, framing won't matter next year is the comment. And look, it will a little bit, abandoned ship. If they go full robo-ump, it absolutely won't matter. And that's kind of why I feel the way I do. Like, I like the framing component of Higgy's game. But for me, when you get ABS challenge, it's not going to matter as much. It is going to decrease the value of framing, even if they get the challenge system in there. If they ever go full robo-ump, it's really not going to matter. You better be good at blocking. You better be good at throwing out runners because framing is going to be a big fat 0 in terms of a difference maker if they go robo-ump. But Zeke Duran, going back to Zeke, 636 over your last 7 games. A 1353 OPS over your last 7 games. Hello. Zeke Duran, who would have thought? Yeah, Dean, I'm with you. It's frustrating for Adolis. This is what he does, though. He comes through in big moments, and you know what? Clearly, the numbers, just going by those alone, more often than not, though, he doesn't come through. I know that some people really coin Adolis as the most clutch Ranger on the roster. Look, there were a lot of clutch moments today that did not go super well for Adolis. Spider, all right, man. We'll see you later. We're getting off pretty soon here in a second. Hey, appreciate all of my paid members and subscribers that are hanging out. Thank you to everybody also that has followed since we began the show. Thank you for everybody that's commented. That's a bunch of you guys. We're going to do the preview of Friday's game in just a second, but wanted to share with y'all, and some of y'all know about this, about 3 months ago, I did start up a subscription service, $2.99 a month, gets you access to our exclusive Ride on Rangers Discord. You want to take your support to the next level, that would be a great way to do it, supporting me and the content that I create here as we continue to grow this channel bigger and bigger. On TikTok, bottom left corner, right next to the chat, subscribe, $2.99 a month. Again, we'll get you into the Discord right after the show. Got about 40 or so people in it right now. Really, really good group. And I'm looking forward to it growing bigger and bigger as the months, as the days, as the weeks, as the years go on. So, hey, thanks for considering. Whether you become a paid member or subscriber ever or not, so much of what we do on the show is always going to be free here. But again, if you've been following for a while, wondering how you can support me, that would be a great way to do it. Thanks for considering it. Drop the link for all my YouTube and X people. You copy and paste it into a browser of your choice. And look, $2.99 is $2.99. If it ain't for you, here's the next best thing. Go to my most recent video and give it a like, comment on it, share it with somebody that you know is a diehard. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, Let me get a couple more comments, and then we'll go into the preview of tomorrow's game. Garcia gave up another crucial homer. Feels like he does that every time he pitches. The last 3 games, that has been the case. We may be in grave danger this weekend. Colby, I actually feel pretty good about the Phillies series. Brady, thanks for the follow, man. Thank you. Drew, you're still hanging out? Dude, yeah, thanks for the support, my guy. Appreciate it. We keep going. Let's see. YouTube, 636. Yeah, Duran's actually looked really good of late. It's kind of wild. We do need that havoc on the base pass, Brian, 100%. 100%. All right. Hey, I appreciate that, Matt, on YouTube. Thank you so much, man. Look, when the merch comes out, I've still got a couple of things rolling. We'll see what we can come up with. I got a couple of people that I've been working with on it. Don't know if it'll be this season, and that's okay. I don't want to put out something that is low quality or not exactly what I want. I mean, this is obviously a business for me that I've had a couple years. I want to put out only the best stuff, so I'll probably do it next baseball season, maybe during the football season, but I'm going to kind of let it cook a little bit in the wintertime, really make sure I do it right. This is a really busy time for me too. I'm doing a lot of different things. I know some of y'all know I do some coaching. It's just a really busy part of the year, but I'm going to get it done at some point. Matt, I appreciate that, though. I'm thinking right now hats, hoodies, T-shirts, and some variations, right? I'm thinking about a couple of things like that just for now. Keep it simple. We might have to get, this is great, a Robert Garcia and a Heim video to fix the issues. Thank you. I need that encouragement. I don't love being Mr. Negative. Like when I put out those videos, it bums me out a little bit because I would much prefer to be glass half full, but sometimes they need to be made. Robert Garcia, I think he needs a demotion. Jonah Heim, I don't think you can do that with Jonah. I'll look it up on Fangraphs right now. Can you demote Jonah Heim, or do you have to DFA? Let's see. He probably has one option left. Nope. No options left for him. So you'd have to DFA Jonah. I thought maybe he'd have like one option left. Nope. We'll see. We'll see if I can get that Heim video out there. Who do I think will win the World Series? Rangers, of course. Of course. Look, it's going to be close. I've never predicted this year that the Rangers are going to win the World Series. I think that they can make it out of the divisional round and get to the ALCS. I haven't predicted a whole lot more beyond that because it's so hard. It's so hard to get to the World Series and win it. That's why you got to appreciate the heck out of 2023, man. But I think the Rangers can make it to the ALCS. I don't know beyond that. In baseball right now, there is a lot of parity. Like, again, nobody really jumps out to me as a team that just cannot be reckoned with. I think there's a lot of parity right now in baseball. There's a lot of good teams, but I don't think there's necessarily an elite team that's just far and away better than everybody else. Abimelec Ortiz and Walcott in 27. I do think, Keegan, that is a better timeline. Walcott and Ortiz in 2027. I don't think either of those guys next year, guys. That makes a lot more sense to me. All right. Let's do tomorrow's game real quick, and then we are going to call it a show. So right now, Friday is the next game. Thursday, day off. By the way, tomorrow we've got, let's see, Mariners playing, A's are playing, and that's it. Tomorrow, off day. Friday, we have Merrill Kelly going. Sanchez throwing for the Phillies. He has a 2.40 ERA. He's been great. Only guys with ABs against Sanchez, Phillies probable starter. He's a lefty, by the way. Higgy 0 for 2. Jock Peterson 1 for 1. So we probably won't see Jock Peterson tomorrow. Rowdy Tellez 0 for 1 as well. So not a lot to go off of. Jock Peterson, only guy who has a hit off of Sanchez. On the other side, Merrill Kelly against the Phillies. Bader 1 for 4. Castellanos 1 for 7. Bryce Harper 2 for 8. Kemp, no ABs. Kepler, 1 for 8 with a home run. Marsh, 0 for 4. Real Muto has a homer, is sitting 231 and 13 career at bats. Kyle Schwarber, 2 for 11. 2 for 11. No homers. Kyle Schwarber against Merrill Kelly. Sosa, 1 for 5. Stott, 1 for 7. Trey Turner, 423 average with a 1021 OPS and 26 ABs. So you really got to look out for Trey Turner. And I would say maybe you look out a little bit for Real Muto. Otherwise, Merrill Kelly appears to have pitched pretty well against this Phillies lineup. So that's good. Kyle, I'm with you, but with Merrill Kelly and DeGrom pitching, I feel confident we can at least get a couple of wins. I think we got a shot. I don't know about that Corbin game, but I feel like we've got a shot with Kelly and DeGrom. Went to the game today. Robert Garcia needs to be sent down and get right. Tim, I totally agree. Totally agree. He's got 3 options. Use one. The only problem is they really don't have a clear-cut guy to call up in his place. If Spores came back, that'd be perfect. But I don't think Spores is ready. They're doing like some deload, stop the program thing with him, which is why I think they traded for 2 relief pitchers. So I don't really think that there's going to be a clear-cut guy that you can bring up in his place. Maybe that doesn't matter. But he is blowing just about everything. I'm with you on that one, B-Daddy. Why can't we develop? Great question. Development is weird. It's not all coaching. Some of it is obviously on the player. I think a lot of it's on the player. But yes, I think good coaching, elite guys down in the minor leagues developing these players does make a difference. It is kind of wild, the Rangers and the struggles they have with developing players. Absolutely. It did take a while with Wynn. Cole Wynn looks really good, by the way. I like Cole Wynn a lot, especially in the late innings. I'm with you, B-Daddy. It's hard. A lot of prospects don't make it. I mean, I know the Rangers get a hard time. They can't develop the prospects. A lot of prospects don't make it. Blue Jays win it all. That'd be something, man. They haven't won since, the early 90s? That would be something. Latz, yeah, Matt Latz is a possibility as well. Curvelo is giving me that same feeling, Kyle. I'm with you on that. All right, y'all. 6:26 my time. Time to go eat some food, hang out with the fam the rest of the night. I appreciate all you guys. Tough day today. We got a day off tomorrow. I'll have a couple of videos coming your way. I think I might do a This Day in Rangers History video, which I've enjoyed making, going back in time, seeing what significant has gone on some of these off days. August 7th tomorrow. We'll see what I can cook up Rangers history-wise. And then maybe a video on the game today or on a player that needs to step it up. I feel like that's appropriate. So maybe a couple videos coming your way. We'll see what I can get to. But thanks again for your support. Everybody that commented. Hey, if you're not followed up right now, you're hanging out, you've been hanging out, checking it out, please hit that follow button. Consider doing it. We do this pretty much after every game, right? Every Rangers game, we're here talking ball, even after the L's. No fair weather fan here. Absolutely not. If it's a tough loss, we're probably here. If it's an outstanding win, we're definitely here. I really appreciate all of y'all's support. Video about Jock and Duran's resurgence. There you go. I like the positive videos, man. Those are so much more fun to make. You know what sucks, though, and I really try not to be this guy, but the negativity always gets more views. Doesn't that suck, the way it works? And I really try to just make the video I want to make, but the negative videos always get the most views. I wish it was backwards. I wish the positive videos got more views. But if I make like a hype video, like I guarantee, I hope to be wrong, but I guarantee my Evo video doesn't get as many views as some negative video or negative rant that I do. It's just how it works. Unfortunately, it's how it works. But I think I might throw that one into my drawing board, man. I've got a bunch of different ideas that I jot down. Kyle, I'm going to jot that one down for sure. Josh, my thoughts are it's ridiculous. Evo is clearly a top 10 starting pitcher in the game. Absolutely. 44, you're not wrong, but it is getting smaller, right? This was game 116. You've got 46 games left in the season. 46 games left. Here we go. Hey, again, thank you so much for everybody. Whoa, over 10,000 likes. Yes, sir. Thank you, TikTok. 10,000 likes on the live today. Appreciate all you guys, man. That is freaking awesome. I don't know where we're at. Probably not. Did we crack the top 100 on the leaderboard yet for sports? We did that one time. That was pretty awesome. I think we probably got to get a few more likes to make that happen. But man, I appreciate you guys so much. Again, special thank you to all my paid subscribers, paid members. Subscribe, bottom left corner, $2.99 a month. Get you into the Discord right away. YouTube, I'll paste that link one more time for you guys. Consider it. And hey, look, if it's not for you, do me a favor. Next best thing you can do, go watch my Evo video after the show. Go watch that Evo video. Give it a like, give it a comment, share it with the diehard Rangers fan. Seriously, that would be a huge help to me. Getting real close to 10,000 followers on TikTok. I think we're maybe over 9,400 at this point. So we got about 600 more followers to go to get to 10K. Continuing to grow the channel as much as I can, grow the account, become a bigger and bigger voice in Ranger sports. And guys, that's a big thank you to all y'all. So seriously, I know I say this every show. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for all the support. I literally used to stream to like 2 or 3 people, and some of y'all might actually be those 2 or 3 people, depending on who's still hanging out. And it was fun, even with 2 or 3. It's a lot more fun with 92 and what do we got? 28 on X and YouTube. Triple digits is a lot more fun, but hey, it was still a ton of fun when we had 2, 3, 4, and 5, man. So thank you to the support, guys. Really, really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully talking about a Rangers win. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.